I'm begging you to please talk to Ruben and get him in on wanting to do one of these interviews.
Would you want him to like pop on right now if he was available?
Yeah. Malevolent Movies presents Indie Horror Rewind. On today's episode, Wendy Donigian, who played Diana in the 2000 film Sleepy Hollow High.
Wow, it's beautiful where you are, Wendy.
Yes. I'm not actually sitting in my bedroom, I swear.
Believe it or not, I am on the beach, but I wanted my fake background to be a Blu-ray case, so isn't it weird?
You just bring it wherever you go.
So how you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Not too bad. We've been obsessing the last probably hour and a half on the Sleepy Hollow High special features.
Finally got
that
the
were
DVD.
on the disc.
Yes, okay.
And we've just been going through those and brainstorming all sorts of sequel ideas and just said, you know what? I'm starting to love Sleepy Hollow High. Since the podcast, I paid a lot more attention to it. It's starting to grow on me.
It's like a tumor.
It is.
My understanding is from Megan is that you're the one that kind of got the ball rolling on all this, that you shared our podcast with like your group chat.
Yeah, and it's so funny because like I haven't seen the movie myself in 18 years or whatever it is. I think I had let my IMDb Pro subscription lapse, and so I was like, so I was just sort of in there and I like re-upped it or whatever, and then I just sort of clicking on things and stumbled upon, I was like, what is this? It's an hour and a half. I hadn't seen it.
And a podcast longer than the movie itself.
Exactly. I'm like, did these people actually spend an hour and a half talking about it? And so, we're all trapped inside, and I was like folding laundry or something. So I just listened to it, and it was very funny. And, thank you guys. You honor us for spending all this time on it. So I shared it with the group. Yeah.
I know it's too soon for me to be asking favors, but we really want to get Z, and I need to apologize to him because of my fat Kanye comment. And so I'm begging you to please talk to Ruben and get him in on wanting to do one of these interviews.
I will ask him. He might. Yeah, I'm sure he would. Would you want him to like pop on right now if he was available?
Yeah. If he's available,
I mean,
yes.
he might not, but I'll say if you want to join, you can. If not,
He can say his piece.
Yeah.
He can say his piece. It's been eating Tyler up inside since we found out yesterday that Ruben felt bad about Tyler's comment. It's been eating him up.
Well, and we were watching the behind the scenes documentary or whatever on the DVD, and like he's just seems so cool, and it made me hate myself even more.
so good. Actually, and everyone was super nice. Kevin and Chris were like super, super nice guys. Like it was actually really fun. The shoot itself was fun. Like I look back on it, it was a good time.
Did you find the casting notice in like a local magazine, a local paper, or because it was pre-internet? I wanted to say, did you see it online? But I knew that probably wasn't the case.
Yeah. So I'll give you my best memory. It's been a long time, so forget. If someone else contradicts me, forgive me. So. It was cast through this act agent. There's a local casting agency, Nancy Seworth, who is lovely. And I think Matt was actually dating her daughter at the time or something, or they were skating partners or something. There was a connection there. The Matt Eber, he was kind of connected. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Kevin and Chris had a deal where if they were able to get this movie done in a certain amount of time with this really low budget, that they would get the deals for some of the other movies that they did. So It was very rushed. Like It was shot fast. It was written fast. It was, and their purpose behind it was to ride the marketing budget of, as long as the cover looked good, they ride the marketing budget. So I think Sleepy Hollow, the timing actually didn't work out exactly for when the real Sleepy Hollow came out, but that was the goal. So it all happened kind of fast. I did go to a casting call and had a little audition. I said like 2 lines and I was like, yeah, whatever. But I got cast and I was like thrilled at the time. It was my first movie. I was 24, 25 and like, wow, it's going to be, it's going to have distribution and then I'm going to like go to Hollywood. Right.
And here you are talking with us. So we're sorry.
No, it's all good.
I noticed something interesting in the Curse of Sleepy Hollow behind the scenes video, or like it's set in the universe of the movie. And there's a card that's talking about your character Diana Palmer and how she died and all this stuff. And it says name Diana, occupation bitch, interests older men, distinguishing characteristic, you figure it out. And so I was curious, did they tell you they were going to do that? Was that your character from the beginning or just like a goof later on?
I don't think they told me about that. The one thing I will say, and this is also a little bit embarrassing, the one direction that I was given on my character was to play her like, oh my gosh, what was that movie? It was with, I think it was Neve Campbell and Denise Richards, like
the John McNaughton movie. What is that
not
called?
Wild Things, but
Wild Things. No, you're right. With Matt Dillon and that's right. That's it.
So I was so broke at the time that I honestly didn't know how to get my hands on that movie, so I never even saw it. So I just guessed, and I was like, I didn't want to play her like a total, like just like a sex person, so I gave her some attitude. And to this day, I still haven't seen the movie, and I think there's a part of me that's like the director is like, what are you doing? This is not her at all, her character at all. He never said anything, so he let me just kind of go with it.
So how many days total if you remember, were you on it, on the whole project?
Maybe like 4 days. I think it was shot over, it was on weekends over maybe a month and a half, and I think the longest was the night scenes by the fire. And by then I was done. I had wrapped at that point. So I was sad to be like one of the first ones to go. I know. And I also, the other thing I didn't get to keep my head. I was really hoping that I would, as the prop, like somehow I would get to keep the head. But I think that was actually the thing that they spent the most money on. So the head did not end up in my possession.
Oh, that's too bad. That's too bad, because that would be a great conversation piece for the rest of your life. Someone walks into your house, oh yeah, it's my severed head, on the TV stand.
You got to at least play around with it, though, right? You got to at least have that amount of fun with it before they took it away from you.
I didn't really, unfortunately. It was like the prop. So
well, they did that whole match cut with the head, and we found out from the interview with Megan that shot was a big deal for them.
Yeah,
to get that shot. So.
Well, despite your lack of screen time in the film, we've probably talked most about your character, because after like 3 or 4 viewings, we were piecing the backstory of your involvement with a teacher. Like, we didn't make the connection that Mr. E and you were the two involved. And then the last time I watched it before Megan's interview, I'm like, dude, she mentions Larry. Who the fuck is Larry? And so we finally realized in all the behind the scenes videos that, that was Mr. E and everything. So like, what was that like in the script? Like, it was just like, you're basically the student that's involved with the teacher and this teacher has a sordid past, or was any of that like developed later on?
I think that one line I improvised because in theory I came on to him and he turned me down. And so when I say, Larry, change your mind, I'm thinking that he's like,
yeah,
going to hook up with me in the woods, I guess. Cause right. But I think, I don't know if that line was in the script, or if it was, like I came up with the Larry name.
I was just disappointed it wasn't Mr. Breezo.
Well, who knows? I have a whole history. Maybe I've already conquered him.
We'll flesh that out in the sequel.
Yeah. So the movie's all cut together. It's done. Music, boom. We're going to have a big premiere. What was the premiere like? And also, what was your initial feeling the second the credits rose at the end of the movie?
Well, going into it, it was a big deal. There's like a lot of people there. There was like an invite. It felt sort of, official, like a real movie premiere. I could tell it's not like, I could tell. And especially you guys talked about that, the snitch scene is
Yeah.
And it's so early on, it's sort of a tough one. The live audience, it was like friends and it was all very supportive people. So it's not like anyone was like throwing food at the screen or anything. So my memory is that it was fun. I think it was like they showed every single, so it was like 3 hours. So I remember it being longer than I anticipated. I did get, I'm just realizing I did get they gave awards out, and I literally still have mine. Sorry.
Awesome.
Oh.
So it's like
there it
head on a stand, and it says, Wendy, that favorite line. So I got an award for the favorite line. It was for that Larry change your mind line. So they did give awards. So we got to go up on stage and get this little award. So I mean, it was really cute.
How much you want for it?
I'm sorry?
How much you want for it?
For real?
I want it.
I don't know.
I told you, Tyler has started to really, really.
Well, this is like decades old.
For like a week.
Well, it's so fun. That's why it was so funny to me that it really stood out to me when I saw it, and I was like, wait a minute, that was like 2 weeks ago. I was expecting it to be like 2004 or whatever. I don't know. I'd have to think about it because it does have some sentimental value. Let me think. Or you can make me an offer. I'll consider.
Right out the gate, 300.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not joking. I'm not joking because I'm going to start building a bad horror movie museum in my house. So, and I'll start charging tickets that only my parents and friends will be forced to pay. So,
who else has one of those awards? Yeah. The director give himself one?
So everyone got one, just so you know.
Yeah.
I don't know if everyone
participation award.
It's not a bad idea if you want to bring those actors back for your next project. He was really nice to me. He gave me that award and everything. So I think I'll do his next film. Have you ever worked with anybody again, or has it just been friendly? Because I know you've done quite a bit other work other than Sleepy Hollow High, both as an actor and as a director. So I didn't know if you've maybe done more work with them, even in theater, local theater, or anything.
Yeah, I don't know if I worked with, Kevin Summerfield. He helped me out editing. He did helped me out, but not as much as I would have liked. I mean, it was a great time, but no, everyone just moved on. Like struggling actors in Baltimore.
Yeah.
No one was like, at least that I know of at the time, was had that great high paying gig. Everyone's scrambling, just taking whatever work you can get.
Do you own a copy of Sleepy Hollow High?
I have it on DVD, but I don't actually have a DVD player. So I'm hoping that it'll actually be available in some sort of digital form. Someday. I think it was on Prime a little while ago, but it's not there anymore, I don't think.
Well, we need to get one of these boutique labels like Scream Factory. We need to get a real push behind it. And so a special edition comes out with all the bells and whistles. And hopefully maybe these are the pebbles that begin the landslide of Sleepy Hollow High being the biggest selling Blu-ray of 2021. It's possible. Even though it would have been perfect this year, it's the 30th anniversary or 20th anniversary.
Yeah, that's true. Which is hard to believe. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, you legitimately still look like your character. If you just had the black lipstick on, you would be spot on the same.
I know. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing. Yeah. And so there was no makeup person. There was no wardrobe. We just at the audition, I think, or at one of the castings, he was bring 3 outfits, and he picked one. It was all really, and I think, like you guys said on there, I think it made money, but it was because they really did it on the cheap, and there was no one in charge of continuity. I think it was just Kevin and Chris who did pretty much everything.
Well, what was your interpretation of all the dream sequences, or the 2 dream sequences set in the film? What is real, what isn't real? Because from Megan's perspective, or I don't know if it was that was the de facto word, is that basically the whole film is just a dream, and it's that's the end of the story. There's nothing interesting about it. I feel like the movie was re-edited or something. Some of the sequences just don't make sense in the order that they're in. And because you two have that conversation when you're walking home and you point out the principal's house, and then you start talking about yourselves, and it's well, this is when it's getting interesting. An hour and 20 minutes in, I want to know about these two.
I hate to say it. I think you guys have thought about it a lot more deeply
than the director. I know.
And maybe we have, or at least that I think the idea was just that there was a lot of red herrings, and you think maybe it's this person, you think maybe it's this person. I don't think they they cared that much about how great the movie was, as long as like the cover would sell.
Yeah.
You know, I think that was their business plan, was, you
It
know,
worked.
ride the marketing wave of some of these other films. You know, I know they're really excited about the quote, you know, the Scream meets Dawson's Creek.
Yeah.
That was sort of
Yeah.
like in the 3.5 stars. And I think
Mhm.
that was, you know, I think that's
Well,
as much as
speaking-
they thought about it. But I hate to, I don't want to like,
No,
just,
it's okay.
you know, they may have thought through it a lot more than
No,
I realized.
I'll ask my therapist. I'll see what she thinks.
Well, speaking of the other films that Kevin and have you watched any of their other movies? I know they made Max Magician and the Ring Lord or something like that. Ring
A
Rain.
bunch of kids'
then
movies.
they-
And you guys, you know what that was, you know, Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, right?
Yeah.
Writing that marketing move. I haven't actually seen it though. I
No.
might have seen a little bit of the Paws and Claws one, but I haven't watched the whole thing.
Well, I know what I'll be watching this Christmas.
Yeah.
Paws and Claws. I'm in.
Well, do you know like what their makeup was prior to Sleepy Hollow High? Like, how did all the crew, the separate individuals get involved with the production?
That I don't know. I do know that I think Chris did work at a video editing place, like a video store. But I don't know how they made the deal. But I do, if I do remember though, Sleepy Hollow High was like they had, you know, if they could prove it with Sleepy Hollow High that they could get it done, you know, on time, on budget, you know, then they get the deal for these other ones. So I know that was kind of like their benchmark, or what they had, how they had to prove they could get it done.
A lot of people that would watch a channel like ours are into independent horror movies and stuff. And you're in VHS 2, which is a very successful. All the VHS movies are very successful.
Yeah.
And you turn into spoiler alert for those who haven't seen it, but you turn into a bit of a creature, a bit of a monster in that one. How was that?
That was a blast. You know, I mean, who doesn't like getting zombie makeup put on and wandering through the woods? And, you know, most of what I've actually done is comedy. And so that was through Jamie, and, you know, the Blair Witch guys. They're a project. They're not far from here. And so Jamie had been part of Jamie Nash had been part of an improv troupe that I had been with for a little while. So he just reached out to me, and I got to be the biker, and
Yep.
you know, it was really, really fun. You know, I was pregnant, like 3 months pregnant when that was shot. Nobody.
Oh, really?
That's my little.
Well,
secret.
that's a great story for the kid. You know, hey, showing his friends. I was in a movie, kinda. Technically, I was in VHS too. So
It's
that's
just
cool.
like so. Like I'll tell him when he's 18. Like
Yeah.
it's not something a 7-year-old for him to watch.
And then you're only going to tell them about Sleepy Hollow High on your deathbed?
Yeah, right.
There's something I forgot to tell you. Well, so in the other projects you've worked on over the years, was there ever a point where you, just in casual conversation with other people, that you brought up Sleepy Hollow High? Is it ever been something you brought up regularly, or is it sort of one of those things where you're like, oh yeah, maybe I did that, I don't know. You kind of keep it quiet.
I don't think I've really mentioned it. I mean, like, I love Kevin. I love the experience of doing it, but it's not, you know, it's not.
We'll tell people for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're the ones telling everybody about your movie. Yeah.
It's Citizen Kane to me. Would you be down for a sequel?
I mean, probably. I'm unfortunately, you know, working full time, have kids now, so I'm not able to do the creative stuff like I used to. So, I sort of, you know, I miss doing improv. I used to do that all the time. So, I probably would, just for the fun of it.
Because if you can help us get Kevin to do an interview, I'm legitimately going to ask him for like the rights to the sequel, because I want to make a sequel to this movie.
You know, I'll let him know. I'll message, you know.
Please let him know that we want to get in touch with him, because we'd love to get like the whole main cast and Kevin and Chris if possible, and to do like a 20th anniversary interview series.
Yeah. Yeah, it merits it. Megan told us she knows of, she's been told of people that it's become kind of one of their perennial favorites every Halloween season. They get together and they watch Sleepy Hollow High. So, you know, regardless of how good or bad the movie turned out. I mean, that says something about the power of the movie. You know, it does something for somebody, whether they're laughing at it or with it. I mean, that's success as far as I'm concerned.
Well, getting any movie actually done is a huge accomplishment. It's not easy to do, and getting it done on time and on budget is also a huge accomplishment. So, and it's out there. It was out there for a while. I ran into a copy of it at some like mom and pop, videos. It was in like the cheap bin.
Mm-hmm.
But, I was like, oh look, there's Sleepy Hollow. I mean, that was years after it had.
Did you have any like specific like on-set experiences, like just anything fun from behind the scenes or
any dirt?
Yeah, any dirt.
Yeah, everyone was so nice. I mean, I know I thought that Antonio, the guy who, he was cool. Like he looked like Dennis Rodman. I thought for sure that he would be like a Dennis Rodman stand-in for something for sure. But I think we were all it was probably like everyone's first movie and we were all really excited about it. And, but yeah, Kevin and Chris were super chill. I've worked with directors that are like breaking pencils and like screaming, and it was not that at all. But it was a good time. I really don't have anything negative to say about the experience of making it. It was really fun. Everyone was nice.
We didn't know about what was on the DVD. And so I ordered this after our interview with Megan yesterday, and it got here today because of the music video. And so there's this odd music video where you play like a ghost or a dead person or something. And then it's just kind of you guys palling around the hallway. So what was like, why did that happen?
I think to have fun. I think Kevin knew like the people the band that gave us some music. Maybe they had to have like extra content. Mm-hmm. I honestly don't know why, but we went just to have fun, and I was thrilled that I had like Kevin did the makeup of I remember wearing it home. It was very fun. But I guess I was sort of like a zombie then too.
Yeah. So like, was this pre-production after principal photography? You guys just got together at like the school or something and just hung out for an evening and shot it?
I'm pretty sure it was after. And I think it was just like a show up if you can. Because I one of the days I could, and then maybe there was a second day that I couldn't do it. But I think it was supposed to be more of, Shannon's dream. Mm-hmm. And then just be silly and goof around.
That's it. So see you later, everybody.
I know.
Yeah, this is all my dream. So like nothing matters.
But the funny thing is you guys called a lot of it like, you're like, it seems like this is the first write of, the first draft of a script. And it's like, well, it was, or,
Well, it makes more sense too now that we know the context of the fact that it was almost like a show reel. Not that they weren't trying to make a real movie, but if you're saying it's about getting it done on time and get it cut together and out there so they can make other movies and get a deal, maybe some the takes were 2 or 3 takes and we're moving on type of thing. It makes more sense in that context.
Yeah. Okay, good.
we are uncovering this Sleepy Hollow High onion one layer at a time, and I love it.
It is a deep onion with so many layers. And
a lot of tears, a lot of stink.
He is like out with his friends right now. Ruben responded, but I'll see if he'll reach out to you guys and see if Kevin. I don't even know what Kevin's doing now. If he's still doing production, directing stuff, or what his deal is, but.
Well, we got to get to the bottom of it.
Thanks for taking the opportunity to talk to us and reach out and get this whole ball rolling from the first. Mm-hmm. That comment is what you sending it to your friends and the rest of the cast and crews what started this. So.
Well, you guys watching this crazy movie from 20 years ago and talking about it for an hour and a half is actually what got it started. So you honor us a lot. It just. Even taking it seriously enough to like have those discussions. So thank you. I appreciate it.
All right.
It's all good.
Well, thanks once again. And we'll talk to you. Maybe we'll talk to you soon. Sleepy Hollow High too.
That's right. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. Best of luck with all of your projects too.
Thank you. $300. 300.
I'm thinking about it.
Okay. $350. It's $350 now.
I'm thinking.
Okay.